Dear friends, now close your eyes and imagine there is a place high above the great peaks of the Andes, beyond the clouds. For thousands of years it has been kissed by the winds and mists, and the heart of a lost civilization beats there. This is Machu Picchu. It feels as if the world turns around it, a piece of paradise crafted by human hands amid those colossal mountains. Those who set foot there seem to enter through a door to the past, with every step revealing traces of history and every stone echoing the whispers of legends. Within these rugged cliffs lies the legacy of a people born from the earth, rejuvenated with the sunrise each day. Indeed, the Inca people, with their great wisdom and determination, defied the heavens to establish this settlement. They were perhaps accustomed to heights, but Machu Picchu was something else entirely. This ancient city served as both a refuge and a sacred temple dedicated to the gods. Imagine every day they greeted the rising sun, offering prayers, for to them the sun was everything. It was the source of life for the land and the breath for the mountains, the very center of their beliefs. Now, let us embark on that mysterious path together. As we tread those stone roads lost in the mists of time, each stone, each shadow has a story to tell us. What hands built this silent yet majestic city? What experiences did they endure? How many nights did they spend beneath the cold mountain winds, looking up at the sky, calling out to their gods? We are about to delve into the past in search of answers to these questions. If you're ready, dear friends, take a deep breath. We are setting out toward the secrets hidden among those towering mountains. Listen to the call of Machu Picchu. Together we will bear witness to an ancient tale echoing in the stone walls of this old city. Yes, my friends, in those times, nothing was as it is today among the wild and magnificent peaks of the Andes. These heights, shrouded in mist and where clouds roamed the valleys, were untouched by human hands and ruled by the grandeur of nature. But one day brave steps were taken at the foot of these vast mountains. The people who settled in the cool shadows of the mountains became friends with the earth. They began to recognize the rivers and valleys and learn to read the winds and rains. These first people, the ancestors of the Inca, began to take shape amid the mists of history. These rugged mountains served as both shelter and teacher for the first settlers. Friends, the Andes are not just a mountain range. Each peak, each valley is like a sage patient, observing the flow of time and resisting it. The mountains taught the early Inca people patience and resilience, whispering to them the ways of survival. They learned to read the rains, to cultivate the soil in time, and this deep bond with nature became one of the cornerstones of Inca culture. For them, the mountains were not mere landforms, but sacred beings. Each mountain had a spirit, a meaning. Each peak concealed a story, and each stone held a secret. In those early days of history, this first people managed to live in balance between the sky and the earth. They listened to nature, heeding its teachings, and built a solid cultural structure with this knowledge. The Andes shaped and strengthened them. The Incas revered these mountains, worshipped them, and accepted the wisdom of the mountains as their legacy. When they gazed upon the peaks, they felt as if their gods were sitting there. The mountains symbolized closeness to the divine. As time progressed, these first settlers began to lay the foundations for a greater culture, a civilization. Under the guardianship of the mountains, they slowly grew, united in communities, cultivated fields, and constructed a unique world. They farmed at the foot of these mountains, growing crops like corn and potatoes and producing drought-resistant products. Their knowledge of the land enabled them to learn how to redirect water and store their harvests. And friends, all of this knowledge formed the foundation stones for the great Inca Empire that would rise in the future. The harsh and severe climate of the mountains shaped the character of the Incas, making them strong. They developed their own language, belief system, and lifestyle. The roots of this ancient people ran deep enough to endure the toughest conditions of nature. In their eyes, the mountains were as if the gods had taken physical form. Each new day, they bowed in respect to these mountains and to nature. Their lives intertwined with nature, they blended with it and internalized it. This deep bond, stretching to the cities they would eventually build, such as Machu Picchu, sprouted in those early settlements at the foot of these ancient mountains. The emergence of the Incas onto the stage of history begins with these initial roots, dear friends. Every day they drew strength from gazing at these mountains, forging friendships with them, and this bond gradually transformed them into the most powerful people of the Andes. Ah, dear friends, the story of Cuzco is a legend that beats at the heart of all Incas. This city was more than just a capital, it was a symbol, a beginning. According to legend, on one of the highest peaks of the Andes, the gods made a decision an empire would rise on these lands. A people would unite to build a civilization that carried the wisdom of the mountains and the power of the sky. And it was on that sacred day, when this decision was made, that Cuzco was founded. This city was not merely a settlement of stone, it was where the beliefs, culture, and strength of the Incas took shape. The founding of Cuzco dates back to the Incas' first ancestors, the legendary Manco Capac and Mama Oclo. According to the tale, the sun god Inti sent this noble couple to earth. Known as the Children of the Sun, Manco Capac and Mama Oclo were tasked with teaching the people agriculture, order, and laws. They descended from the mountains, armed with a pair of golden staffs, and traveled the land. The spot where they planted one of these golden staffs would become Cuzco. Thus the foundations of Cuzco were laid with the blessing of the gods and the power of a golden staff, giving birth to the Incas' first home, their initial refuge. From that day on, this city became the center where the Incas grew and expanded, pulsating at the heart of their empire. My dear friends, at that time there were not just homes and roads here, there was hope, a connection, and the entire life of the people centered around this hub. Every corner, every stone seemed to speak the beliefs, traditions, and knowledge of the Incas were engraved into every part of Cuzco. This city served as a guide and an inspiration for the Incas. Rising in the shadow of the mountains, this sacred center allowed the Incas to establish a new life, flourishing under the watchful eyes of the gods. Each leader following the first ruler, Manco Capac, took on this sacred mission to enhance the power and influence of Cuzco. In these efforts, the Incas did not just conquer new lands, they adorned the area around Cuzco with sacred temples and magnificent stone structures. These temples reached skyward like hands, built to connect the gods with the people. Cuzco grew more and more, symbolizing an empire and reflecting the greatness of its people. Each conquered land and every victory strengthened the Incas' loyalty to Cuzco and the significance of this city for them. As time passed, people flowing from the mountains and the depths of the valleys began to gather around Cuzco. The fame of this sacred city spread beyond the Andes. Cuzco had become not just the capital of the Incas, but the capital of the entire region for this, was not merely a city but a gateway where people were close to the gods. As individuals passed through this gateway, they bore witness to their past, their culture, and the strength of the Inca people. Dear friends, thus Cuzco was established as a city created by a command from the gods, laying the groundwork for the Incas' dream of their first empire. The early rulers, believing they had a bond with the gods, carefully expanded and protected these lands. As Cuzco grew, so did the empire, and the people flourished. The Incas built a world around this sacred center in that world. Each individual shared the common fate of nature, the gods, and the Incas. Every person who believed in this shared destiny regarded Cuzco as a home, a heart, a root, and this connection bound them together, strengthened them, and held them united. Ah, dear friends, I felt as though I wove the stones of Cuzco with my own hands, imprinting the shadow of the gods into every corner of its sacred walls. Yet, like a seed sprouting, branching out and flourishing, Cuzco was merely the beginning. The Incas could not be satisfied with this small capital. Their destiny had charted a path that would take them beyond the mountains, past the valleys, rivers, and seas, and that path would be opened by the great Pachacuti. Now, let me tell you of the rise of the Inca Empire, a tempest that would shake the world and change everything forever. Pachacuti's tale is far more than that of an ordinary ruler, dear friends. One day, as enemies surged forth like a roaring flood from the mountains, approaching Cuzco, a fire ignited within the young Pachacuti. When these outsiders reached out for the sacredness of Cuzco, forcing its people to flee in terror, he chose to turn back and fight. In that fierce trial, Pachacuti became not only a leader but the very hope of his people. As he fought through the narrow streets of Cuzco, all the Inca people rallied behind him. When the enemies retreated, Pachacuti was no longer just a hero but a legend. After this victory, the people began to call him the one who recreates the world, and indeed, until that day, the Inca lands had been a small state, but with Pachacuti, they began to transform into a new power, an empire. Pachacuti's vision was not just to repel enemies, but to unite the entire Andes and beyond. He established a vast network connecting city to city and village to village, bringing the Inca people together under a common order. Not only did Pachacuti create an empire, he also brought profound innovations to his people and governance. Centralized administration organized the entire society like a large family, transforming it into a robust structure. Each village, each town was linked to the heart of Cuzco, and through this central system, Pachacuti created a world where justice, abundance, and order reigned. And so, dear friends, after Pachacuti, his son Topa Inca ascended the throne, following in his father's footsteps to take this empire even further. He strengthened the structure his father had built, crossing the Andes to let the Inca flag fly in new territories. The Incas integrated communities in the valleys, building fortresses and roads even in the high mountains. Under Topa Inca's reign, the Inca Empire transformed into a vast dominion, no longer just a community but one that extended its power far and wide. Every region, every tribe became a part of this new order. Everyone enjoyed a fair life under the magnificent rule of Pachacuti and Topa Inca, and every peak of the Andes came to salute this monumental unity. Ah, friends, thus Pachacuti and Topa Inca were two great rulers engraved in the hearts of the Incas. They were not only warriors, they were the fathers and protectors of their people. During their reigns, the Incas united and grew, spreading like a mighty river flowing from the chest of the mountains. The names of Pachacuti and Topa Inca would be remembered for centuries, for they had waved the flag of all the hopes, pasts and futures of the Incas. Thanks to them, this magnificent empire rising from the Andes etched its name in the annals of world history in golden letters. And now we embark together on a journey to delve even deeper into the magical world left behind by these powerful leaders who established the Inca legacy. My friends, we arrive at Machu Picchu. Nestled among the peaks of the Andes, hidden in the clouds, it feels like a place beyond time, resting upon the chest of towering mountains. Once I beheld each stone of these majestic structures with my own eyes, I etched my soul into those stone walls. And I have a magical tale to share with you. The legend goes that Pachacuti envisioned a paradise atop the misty peaks of the Andes, a place where the splendor of the empire would unite with the power of nature. Thus the first stones of Machu Picchu were laid upon this dream. Yet Machu Picchu was more than just a settlement. Each stone, each path, even every terrace served a purpose. For the Incas, this lofty summit was built as a sacred space to be closer to their gods. Pachacuti constructed this holy area to demonstrate his devotion to the deities and empower his empire. As the high peaks carried the spirits of the Incas to the gods, anyone who arrived here felt themselves drawn closer to the heavens. The construction process, dear friends, was a miracle in itself. Those massive stone blocks were placed with such skill that not even a knife could fit between them, without any mortar used at all. The stones of the mountains carried the spirit of the mountains, did they not? These stones were expertly chosen to withstand natural disasters and the ravages of time. The Inca stonework was so delicate that Machu Picchu stands to this day. Moreover, it was not merely a living area but a structure in harmony with nature. The terraces not only prevented soil erosion but also created fertile grounds for agriculture. My beloved friends, each stone there expressed a reverence for nature and the gods. And this great city was not just a place of worship, it was also a site of study in science, astronomy, and even agriculture. Certain points in Machu Picchu were used to observe the movements of the stars. The mysteries of the sky were unveiled here. It was a way to communicate with the gods and understand nature. Wise men, striving to read the messages of the heavens, would gaze at the stars from Machu Picchu at night. Here there was not only earthly knowledge but also a celestial repository of wisdom. And my friends, the true purpose of Machu Picchu has remained a mystery that has puzzled historians and scientists for years. Some say it was merely a refuge for a king to retreat, others argue it was a sacred academy. Yet, regardless of its intended purpose, this place crafted by Pachacuti lived on as a symbol reflecting the sanctity of the empire. Like a gift offered to the gods, this city, hidden in the heart of the mountains, has been bequeathed to the world as a treasure of wisdom. Thus, my friends, within every stone of Machu Picchu lies a secret, and every wall tells a story filled with mystery. As we once again lend our ears to the whispers of history in this city shaped by the breath of the gods, we feel the legacy of the Incas in our hearts. Now, as we descend from the lofty peaks of Machu Picchu, we shall continue our journey towards uncovering the other secrets of this enigmatic empire. My dear friends, standing here in the depths of Machu Picchu, I feel a thrilling excitement as I describe its unique position and the meaning it held for the Inca Empire. This ancient city, perched atop the peaks of the Andes and hidden among the clouds, served as both a meeting point for gods and humans and a strategic observation point, the eyes of the empire. Built in such a way that it blends into the fabric of nature, Machu Picchu becomes lost among the mountains, valleys, and clouds. It rises perhaps at the most inaccessible point of the Andes. This, my friends, was certainly no coincidence. The Incas chose this high and mysterious location with strategic foresight. From here, they established a fortress to protect the empire and a sacred temple to approach their deities. This city atop the mountains symbolized not only a defense against the Incas' enemies, but also their profound respect for nature. Surely this elevation allowed the Incas to feel closer to their gods, wouldn't you agree? Whenever humanity wishes to reach the heavens, it dedicates itself to a more sacred purpose. The high position of Machu Picchu also provided the Incas with a refuge far from their enemies. Imagine a place so challenging to reach that it allowed them to hide from foreign powers and possible threats, living in safety. Enemies would not dare to climb here, even those who set out would soon grow weary. Thus, Machu Picchu was more than just a city, it was a fortress, a shield of security. The harsh terrain of the Andes served as a kind of armor for the Incas. Those within this mysterious city could live in sacred refuge, sheltered from the outside world. Yet, my friends, the strategic importance of Machu Picchu's location was not solely military. From here, they could observe both the heavens and the depths of the earth. They could track the rising of the sun, the passage of the stars in their sacred ceremonies. They observed the rhythm of nature. Machu Picchu symbolized the Incas' deep connection with their gods and the universe, embodying their bond with nature. The city became a celestial temple beneath the stars, where rituals and sacred ceremonies were held. Here, they not only protected the borders of their empire, but also served as guardians of their beliefs, turning their gaze towards the gods. Ah, my friends, perhaps this is the reason Machu Picchu was hidden away like a secret in the heights. To be close to the gods, to stay distant from enemies, to feel the spirit of nature. In this way, this ancient city has managed to remain both preserved and true to its sacred meaning. Now, as we take one more step towards unraveling the mystery of Machu Picchu atop these mountains, our next discovery will shed more light on the deep history of this magical place. Ah, my dear friends, now I shall share with you how life unfolded under the powerful roof of the Inca Empire, how its people lived and worked. The lands of the Incas were not just cities built on mountaintops or majestic temples, they were a reflection of a great harmony forged by the people who inhabited them. Yes, the empire rose on the backs of the ordinary farmers, and from the hands of master stoneworkers. Everyone was a part of this grand structure. The Incas, my friends, were organized within a strict class system. At the very top stood the Sapa Inca, regarded as a god king. The people viewed him as a representative of the gods on earth, therefore, every word he uttered was perceived as a command from the divine. Just below him were the nobles, priests, and advisors, those entrusted with fulfilling sacred duties, governing the people, and maintaining order within the empire. Yet it was not just the nobles who formed part of this structure, every segment of society was integral to it. The Incas considered themselves members of a vast family. Everyone had a duty, a role. Each class respected the existence of the others, working together to uphold this great empire. And at the heart of this grand structure lay a special bond with the land. The Incas, my friends, masterfully developed agriculture. managing to cultivate crops even in the challenging terrain of the Andean slopes. Through a system known as terrace farming, they transformed the mountainsides into arable land. Each step of the terraces reflected a different climate zone, allowing for the cultivation of diverse crops at varying elevations. Potatoes, maize, and quinoa not only fed the people but also became valuable commodities in trade with distant regions. Imagine, dear friends, the hands wielding hoes on those steep agricultural terraces in the high mountains, nourishing not just their own bellies but the very heart of the empire. Agriculture was the foundation of this society, however. Trade routes held equal importance. The Incas constructed roads that stretched across the mountains, not mere paths but a robust network of communication made from solid stone. Merchants and state officials traversed these roads, reaching distant lands, trading and connecting every corner of the empire. For the Incas, these roads were the lifeblood of their civilization. Furthermore, runners known as chasqui would swiftly traverse these routes, carrying messages from the emperor from one end to the other. The roads, my friends, symbolized not just trade but the connections the Incas forged across vast geographies. Their economic organization was equally impressive. The tax system operated with such precision that everyone knew their part. Taxes were paid not in money but in labor. In a system known as mita, the people worked for the empire during specific periods of the year. Some labored in agriculture, while others were tasked with road construction, some sweated in stone masonry, and others in the construction of palaces. This labor tax played a vital role in ensuring the prosperity of the empire. Oh, what an incredible system this was, right? Each person's work contributed to the strength of the empire. The people served not only themselves but the community as a whole. Thus, my friends, the social and economic structure of the Incas was profound and robust. In this system, where everyone knew their place and worked together, lay the strength, prosperity, and resilience of the empire established in the Andes. Now, let us continue to delve deeper into the secrets of this remarkable structure. Ah, my dear friends, now I will take you to the deepest, most spiritual aspect of the Inca civilization, the religious beliefs and rituals of the Incas. The Incas lived a life intertwined with the heavens, the mountains, the stars, and especially the sun. Their belief in the sun god Inti shaped both their existence and the foundation of their empire. For the Inca people, the sun was not merely a source of light and warmth, it was life itself. They believed that through Inti's power, crops would flourish, the land would be fertile, and the life of the people would continue. Imagine, dear friends, every morning as this radiant deity rose in the sky, the entire community would offer heartfelt prayers of gratitude. Inti's eyes stretched from the mountaintops to beyond the seas, seeing all and knowing all. Thus, the Incas felt a deep obligation to remain loyal to Inti and to ensure his happiness. Each year, a grand ceremony known as Inti Raymi, the Festival of the Sun, was held. This festival occurred during the winter solstice, celebrating the time when the sun was least visible, as the people rejoiced in the return of its warmth and light. Thousands gathered in the plaza of Cuzco, raising their hands to the sky, expressing their gratitude and praying that Inti's light would never fade. And let us not forget the temples that symbolized Inti on earth. Ah, those sacred structures, particularly the Temple of the Sun located in Machu Picchu, which epitomized the Incas' profound belief. Situated at the peak of the Andes, closest to the heavens, this temple served as an offering to Inti. The stonemasons crafted it with such exquisite workmanship that not even a knife could pass between the stones. This was not just architectural brilliance, it was also a testament to the respect held for the divine. The design of the Temple of the Sun, constructed to capture the first rays of the morning sun, demonstrated the Incas' astronomical knowledge and their devotion to Inti. Every morning as the sun's first light illuminated this sacred edifice, Inca priests would bow in gratitude to Inti. These temples were sacred spaces where Inti met his people, and the Incas believed they connected with him through their rituals performed within. Of course, Inti was not alone. The Inca belief system included many gods and goddesses. Mother Earth, Pachamama, was regarded as the source of all, believed to bestow fertility upon the land. The Incas revered Pachamama deeply, offering her gifts to enrich the soil. Offerings to Pachamama were buried in the ground, presenting a tribute to her spirit. For a people so intertwined with agriculture, Pachamama was the cornerstone of their existence. Without the land's fertility, survival was impossible. Rituals, my friends, were an integral part of daily life for the Incas. During major festivals, animals were sacrificed, and special plants and precious stones were presented as offerings to the gods. Every offering, every ritual, was a way to forge a connection between the deities and the people. On particularly significant days, priests would climb high mountains, believing that being closer to the gods on those peaks made their prayers more potent. These prayers and sacrifices represented not only devotion to the divine but also a spiritual bond that held the empire together. The religious beliefs of the Incas guided their lives and their deaths. They believed their spirits would remain in these lands after death, living eternally under the watchful eye of Inti in peace. Hence, their hearts were filled with a profound attachment to life and the beyond through their beliefs and prayers. This strong faith may have carried them to the peaks of the Andes, enabling them to forge such a great empire. So, dear friends, the belief system that lay at the heart of the Inca people firmly anchored them to these lands, adding meaning to their lives and uniting them with their gods. Now I will continue to take you deeper into our journey beyond these sacred and profound beliefs, exploring the daily lives and cultural structures of the Incas. Ah, my friends, now I will take you to the dazzling creations of the Inca civilization, a realm where the stone walls seem to breathe and magnificent structures embrace the sky and mountains. Close your eyes and imagine the mysterious Machu Picchu, perched high atop the peaks of the Andes. It's a place where the stones blend seamlessly, each one unique yet arranged so meticulously that not even a hair could slip between them. This stonework feels as though it has been shaped not just by sight, but by the soul itself. Inca architecture is the result of great wisdom and an unbreakable bond with nature. They built these colossal structures without nails or mortar, skillfully assembling only worked stones. The stonemasons carved and shaped each rock with hands that seemed to draw from the essence of the mountains, creating cities that appeared to be extensions of nature itself. Moreover, these structures are not only powerful but also remarkably durable. Centuries have passed since the Inca civilization, yet these walls still stand, robust as if they were built yesterday. But that's not all. In Machu Picchu and other Inca settlements, we can see that the entire living space has been designed with great delicacy. The terrace farming system, my friends, is where this ingenuity comes into play. The Incas flattened the slopes of the mountains to create terraced fields, enabling them to cultivate crops while defying natural disasters like landslides. This achievement represents not just agricultural success but a survival strategy. These terraces allowed water to slowly percolate, retaining soil moisture and ensuring sufficient yields for the villagers' sustenance. The Incas' cleverness and their harmony with nature demonstrate that they could even make the mountains bow to them. And what about the water channels? There lies another stroke of genius. The Inca cities, nestled atop these lofty mountains, skillfully addressed their water needs as well. Water from the mountains was expertly distributed throughout the city via stone channels, reaching every corner to provide for both cleanliness and drinking needs. These intricate waterways surrounding Machu Picchu showcase the Incas' respect for nature and their finesse in architecture. Imagine, my friends, we are surrounded by these stones, shaped by the hands of those who came before us, each one a marvel of engineering. Machu Picchu and other Inca creations offer us not merely buildings made of stone, but a timeless legacy demonstrating what the human mind in harmony with nature can achieve. My children, now I shall tell you how a glorious civilization knelt before its fate. All this magnificent stonework, grand cities, terraces, and waterways. These, my friends, were symbols of the Incas' unbreakable bond with nature. Yet those seemingly indomitable structures would one day fall prey to a foreign hand, laden with power, ambition, and greed. Now, close your eyes and visualize. The Inca Empire is at the height of its glory. The people, loyal to their kings, cultivate the land, erect temples for their gods, and live happily with their families. But one day, from afar, ships carrying foreigners, the Spanish conquistadors, arrived. And at that moment, a spark ignited the end of this magnificent civilization, deeply rooted in the Andes. The Spaniards, my friends, were captivated by the allure of gold and the richness of the land. At that time, the Inca territories were already being shaken by the destructive winds of civil war. After the death of Emperor Huayna Capac, his two sons, Huáscar and Atahualpa, fell into conflict over the throne. This opened a dark chapter in Inca history. The people were divided, brothers turned against brothers. This civil war played into the hands of the Spanish conquistadors. A fractured empire was like a giant that had lost its strength. The armies, exhausted from the civil war, and a hesitant populace lacked the power to unite against the enemy. My friends, unfortunately, the chain of misfortunes did not end there. The Spaniards brought with them another calamity disease. Smallpox, measles, and other deadly illnesses from Europe easily seized the defenseless bodies of the Inca people, who were accustomed to the pure air of the Andes. Disease roamed through the Inca villages and cities like a ghost, claiming lives one by one. This invisible enemy, sharper than swords and more deadly than arrows, laid waste to thousands without distinction. A great civilization began to melt away before our eyes. And then there was Atahualpa, the brave king who displayed the last stand of the Inca Empire. However, he fell into Pizarro's trap. Pizarro invited him to a meeting, but it was an ambush. Atahualpa was captured, and the Incas filled a room with gold as ransom. Yet the Spaniards did not honor their word. Atahualpa was executed, and the great resistance of the Incas was shattered. This collapse, my friends, was not merely a defeat brought by war or disease. It was the death of a people's spirit, their beliefs, and their culture. The Spanish conquerors plundered the great Inca cities, looted those magnificent temples, and destroyed the works that symbolized the harmony between nature and humanity. Yes, the stones may still stand, but the ancient wisdom and knowledge that gave them spirit and brought them together have been lost forever. Thus, my friends, the illustrious history of the Incas began to fade in the shadow of the Spanish conquest. A once glorious civilization turned to ash before our eyes because of these greedy invaders. Yet still, the spirit of the Incas continues to whisper through the depths of the earth and atop the peaks of the mountains. Ah, Machu Picchu, that mysterious city rising like a dream atop the mountains. One of the most enchanting masterpieces of Inca craftsmanship and the harmony between humanity and nature. Imagine a city here, nestled among the clouds, nearly close to the sky, silently yet proudly standing as a testament to the power of nature. However, as with all beautiful things, a time came for this legendary city when the sounds of life echoing among the stones began to fade one by one, giving way to profound silence. Now close your eyes and envision this while the Spaniards, driven by greed for gold and land, attacked these territories Machu Picchu quietly endured in the mountains. The calamities of war and disease could be felt even from afar. Though the Spaniards never reached the peaks of the Andes to lay claim to this city, like other Inca cities, Machu Picchu was ultimately forced to be abandoned. The city was now home only to the songs of nature, the chirping of birds, and the whispers of the wind. The skillfully constructed waterways, terraces, and temples were now devoid of the careful hands that once tended to them. Perhaps the Incas had migrated down to the valleys to survive. Perhaps they thought they could no longer sustain the sacred bond with their gods. The mesmerizing beauty of Machu Picchu faded into loneliness, like a dream lost in time. As the years passed, the existence of this city began to slip away into forgetfulness. It came to such a state that the stones of Machu Picchu became one with the rhythm of nature, the earth, and the greenery surrounding them. Until no one came to see it, it seemed to vanish from the memory of mankind, like a figment of imagination sprung from a fairy tale. Those magnificent stone structures were cloaked by the wild embrace of nature, hiding the city from human eyes for many years. Only the keenest of eyes and the strongest of instincts could grasp the secret behind these mountains. Then, centuries later, an explorer named Hiram Bingham, with the curious gaze of the modern world, rediscovered this magical city hidden beyond the mountains. But oh, in that moment the stones of this abandoned city came back to life. They awoke from the silence they had guarded for centuries. Ah, 1911. The year when that magical city, Machu Picchu, long wrapped in deep silence and concealed by the embrace of nature, was awakened from its slumber. Picture it in your mind, a city lost among the mists and clouds atop the Andes, waiting to be discovered by a man as shrouded in mystery as the place itself. That man was Hiram Bingham, an explorer who journeyed from far away, from America, to uncover this city hidden in the dusty pages of history. When this young historian first set foot in Peru, he was driven by a captivating tale told by the locals, a lost Inca city beyond the mountains, unknown and unreachable, a forgotten paradise. With adventure in his heart and questions swirling in his mind, Bingham embarked on this exploration. After months of arduous travel, he finally found himself in a valley's depths, greeted by stone terraces and finely crafted walls. Before him lay a city, yes, but not just any city. The stones of Machu Picchu, imbued with its spirit and grandeur, silently whispered, "Welcome." As Bingham introduced this marvelous place to the world, a wave of excitement rippled through both scholars and history enthusiasts. Articles were written, photographs published, and the world was captivated by the existence of a forgotten Inca city. Machu Picchu, now revealed, became an irreplaceable treasure etched into the heart of humanity. And so Machu Picchu was presented to the modern world. We embraced it not just as a discovery, but as a legacy handed down to us from the past. Its inclusion on UNESCO's World Heritage List was merely a step. Machu Picchu emerged as a storyteller from centuries ago, a sage, forever sharing its tales with those who would listen. Ah, Machu Picchu. This ancient city, breaking its silence after centuries and inspiring the modern world, has left such a powerful legacy that it continues to resonate deep within the mountains to this day. Now close your eyes and envision how these ancient stones touch the human spirit, how they ignite inspiration. Those magnificent stone walls, the finely chiseled blocks, the elegant craftsmanship of the water channels all shine like a masterpiece admired by the modern world. Machu Picchu is not merely a city, it stands as a testament to human intellect, determination, and the desire to harmonize with nature. Today, architects study its balanced structure and unity, artists draw inspiration from its grandeur, and travelers lose themselves in dreams atop these high peaks. Built upon lush greenery and steep cliffs, this ancient city opens the door to a dream for every visitor. Yet, the impact of Machu Picchu transcends the stone walls and intricate craftsmanship. It has become a source of inspiration that touches and shapes the world of art, carrying the spirit of the past. From paintings to films and literature, it resonates in every domain. It has been brought to life anew through colors, sounds, and words. Machu Picchu is not just a ruin or a tourist destination, it thrives as a living, breathing cultural heritage and tourism. Ah, dear friends, the world has overflowed with curious travelers eager to witness this magical place. Machu Picchu has become a travel itinerary for tourists, a gateway to discovery for history enthusiasts. People from far and wide converge here, speaking a common language of admiration. This is the essence of Machu Picchu's story, a past imbued in every stone, a doorway to the future, a unique symbol of human history. Ah, dear listeners, and so we come to the end of another journey. Now, it is time to gently part your eyes from these magnificent mountains, to leave behind the sunlit world woven by the noble Incas with their stone walls. The ancient melodies echoing in our thoughts, the misty landscapes that adorn the cliffs will now settle in your minds as a new story. Like every tale told, the message that Machu Picchu and the Incas have imparted to us is that profound connection that transcends time. For a moment, close your eyes and listen to the lives echoing in the silence of these mountains. Feel the resonating footsteps in every stone, every terrace, every path. This is a realm that is far more than an ordinary relic or a simple heritage here. We witness how the human spirit has thrived atop the peaks and how it has taken root in the embrace of nature. This story, coming from centuries past, is not only the legacy of the Incas who lived on that land, but our collective heritage. As we chart our course through these unique lands and weave our dreams into those stone walls, how happy I am if we could share even a fragment of the ancient world's wisdom shaped by time. In every memory, every tale, there lies a legacy that we will pass down to future generations, shaded by the wisdom of our past. And dear friends, I hope our journey has opened new horizons for you, bringing the mists from the mountain peaks into your eyes and the whispers of the wind touching those stones into your ears. Now, the time for farewell has come. But remember, history does not end when it is once told. It is reborn in every listener's mind, finding new life in every remembrance. And now, you have become a part of this story. This legend is no longer just of the Incas, but a part of you as well. Whenever you recall Machu Picchu, know that moment is a secret whispered by history, continuing its journey toward the future with you. Farewell, my friends. Until we meet again in another story, atop other mountain peaks, beneath the shadows of other pasts.